Shalom. Welcome to GMS Gallows on the Streets. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, whom I worship. Double honor to the other apostles of great millstone taught me this word. This is just some breaking news, just in, and this is from the Guardian, Guardian.com, and this is dealing with Venezuela. What's going down in Venezuela? Pretty much things is heating up, getting worse. They guess they were protesting, and you had pro government and anti government groups going at it with each other, and I guess somebody from either side shot a protester in the head and killed him. So just like like you can see the picture right here. It's like a whole bunch of people out there, man, protesting, man. And so this is coming, like we always say, this is coming. This is coming to a neighborhood near you. This is coming to America, man. This is coming to DC. This is coming to New York. This is coming to LA. This is coming to Florida. This is coming to, you name it. Any top major city that's out there in America, in the states, this is what's gonna start happening because of the government doing covert operations, man. Doing some foul shit out there, to the people, and people are not gonna have it. So this is just a glimpse on what's coming. We always said that. So us, we see an article that catches our eye, and we're gonna go into it. So anyway, this is the name of the title of the article is "Violence Feared as Protesters Clash at Venezuela, Mother of All Marches." Uh, it says tensions high in Caracas following student's death after he was shot in the head near a clash between pro and anti-government groups. It says, let me see. It says Venezuela braced for an outbreak of political violence on Wednesday as hundreds of thousands of anti government demonstrators flooded onto the streets of Caracas for what the opposition billed the mother of all marches against the government. Tensions, which have built up over several weeks of bloody protests, were ratcheted up after a student died having been shot in the head near a clash between pro and anti-government groups. It says, see, these groups, man, they don't play around. They're not like these like the protesters out here in America, walking around, you know, with picket signs and chanting and marches and bullshit. These these people, man, are like zealous protesters, man. Willing to go all out for their rights or for whatever, to go against the government and to do what they got to do. They don't play around, man. Although this is gonna happen eventually out here, it's gonna be protests. There's gonna be protests more often, and they will be bloody. All right, they will be violent. It says fears of bloodshed were stoked after President Nicolas Maduro put troops on the streets, supplied guns to sympathetic civil militias, and called for a simultaneous rally of his supporters against what he said was a United States backed coup. State TV images showed thousands of red shirted government loyalists on the rival march to defend the homeland, but their numbers were far exceeded by the vast throng that gathered in the Baruta district to express their anger and frustration at an administration that that has led the country with the planet's biggest oil supplies into the world's deepest economic recession. Banners banners reading "No More Dictatorship" highlighted the steady erosion of democracy. In the past month, the Supreme Court attempted to circumvent Congress's legislative powers, a power grab which was subsequently reversed while opposition figurehead and former presidential candidate Enrique Capriles was banned from running for office for 15 years. Many targeted the Venezuelan president, who was blamed for high inflation and the chronic shortages of food, uh, medicine, and other basic goods. The chant, "Esta es la ruta para salir del hijueputa." This is the way to oust the son of a bitch, echoed repeatedly around the downtown district. The protesters came from all walks of life. Some said they had previously supported the government under Maduro's predecessor, Hugo Chavez, but the worsening economic and social crisis had made them march for change. "We are desperate and tired of living in misery," said Kelvin Cava, a former Chavista from the eastern state of Zulia. Uh, with Chavez, our salaries were worth something. Now, if hunger doesn't kill us, then crime will. A group of Catholic clergy were also among the crowd. Although the Vatican has tried to adopt a neutral position in hosting talks between the two sides. "I came with several priests because we have reached the breaking point for this regime of narco traffickers and terrorists. We need peace and to reconstruct this country," said Father Jose Palmar. "We ask Pope Francis to do for Venezuela what Pope John Paul II did for Poland." He added, referring to the role that the Catholic Church played in overthrowing communism in Eastern Europe during the Soviet era. Others Others said they were prepared for clashes with the security forces. "We have come today because we want freedom and a functional economy. It's paralyzed," said Luis Machado, a money changer, who was wearing gloves in case he had to pick up a gas canister and throw it back at the security forces. Several recent demonstrations have ended in violence, with at least 6 deaths reported since the start of the month. Now that's real demonstration right there. Those are some real hardcore protesters, man. What the hell are the protesters out here? You got people protesting Trump. What the hell are they doing? They ain't doing shit, you know, to make a real change, right? It says Wednesday's victim, Carlos Moreno, was not taking part in a demonstration but was shot when government supporters approached an opposition gathering and opened fire. Witnesses told Reuters. Moreno was shot in the head and later died in the hospital. 11 countries from the Organization of American States have jointly called on all sides to remain peaceful and urged the government to call new elections. This was echoed by the United States, which issued a communique on Tuesday, warning that those responsible for the criminal repression of peaceful democracy institutions and practices and for gross violations of human rights will be held individually accountable for their actions by the Venezuelan people and their institutions, as well as by the international community. Maduro responded in a live televised address on Tuesday night in which he claimed the U.S. government, the State Department, have given the green light, the approval for a coup process to intervene in Venezuela. He then he then signed a decree to mobilize the military to defend internal order. The government has also tried to reduce the size of protests by cutting subway services and setting up highway roadblocks. For seasoned observers of Venezuelan politics, this may sound familiar. In the 18 years since the late Hugo Chavez and his successor Maduro assumed power, Venezuelans have grown accustomed to giant rallies for and against the government. Several have turned violent, but none have spurred significant change. Although the opposition seized control of Congress in the 2015 election, they are divided and have failed to galvanize popular disconnect. So you could, go to this article if you want and read the rest. All right. But it's getting crazy out there. I have even heard of brothers telling me that they've read articles or saw videos of people saying how uh, they're going through hunger right now because the government is pretty much controlling everything, controlling the food and everything, and the people are not eating. So they've been turning to cannibalism, man. So it's crazy. So don't tell me that this cannot come to America, okay? This Venezuela is not too far away from here. As a matter of fact, it's in America's backyard, okay? So with that, this is Sakuran from the GMS New York camp signing off. Shalom.